You're exactly right, Jim. We're not going to go crazy on the names, but we may have discussions on the position that maybe a team took here, the debate on the quarterbacks, which is what we'll start with here. I'm going to give you number 1, 2, and 3. They're all quarterbacks. Bears take Caleb Williams. Commanders take Jaden Daniels. And the Patriots take Drake May. What I want to ask from you, because we all believe Caleb Williams is going number 1. But the debate between Daniels and May be had for the next 2 months. What happens there? Who wins that debate and becomes the second quarterback taken?
I think May is the safest pick. I think Daniels has more upside to him. He's that new quarterback with the mobility factor. Did you just land your C.J. Stroud? That guy who can just hit the ground running? I actually like him more than Caleb, but that's a different topic. You love Caleb. I don't.
Okay. Love is a strong word. Caleb Williams, number 1, because of what he can do out of structure. I hate that he lived out of structure. I think that can be scary, but the upside is why he's number 1. Jaden Daniels, the upside is that he can run and extend plays too. I don't think that May is a statue, though.
He's not a statue, but compared to the other two,
I know.
He's more of a safer bet.
It kind of feels like it depends what you expect your quarterback to do, right? I mean, if you're going to utilize the run game, then Daniels is more appealing. But if you value the drop back passer, you think that's the way you win in the league, then I think you leave Daniels on the board and you take Drake May.
Do you think there's any way number 6 Giants, number 7 Titans, or 8 Falcons find a way to trade into the top 3 to get a quarterback?
If they had betting odds, I would bet that one of those teams will move up to get one of the quarterbacks.
But the teams 1, 2, and 3 all need quarterbacks too,
I
so
know.
you're going to really have to pay.
No. And it goes back to I do wonder, the Bears don't, because they have a quarterback that other people want, which means you have a quarterback. You may not like him, but what if you traded out of that pick and got a ton of draft capital?
That's what I'm saying. It would take a lot to move up for those teams.
And that's what I'm thinking.
You get this year's number 1 and probably next year's number 1.
Yeah, and off the top of my head, I'm thinking like New England, to where you're going to give the guy runway, Jared Mayo, and maybe you say, you know what, we just get extra pick all this capital for the next 2 years and then go.
Because there is an argument for you don't want to draft a QB when you don't have support around that quarterback and set him up to fail. And maybe you end up building the support system and then dropping the QB in later.
Because
if the challenge, though, is it feels like this is a better group than next year's QB class.
We always say that.
Yeah, we do. But it feels true.
But because then there's that next tier of quarterbacks that, okay, maybe we drop down and we go get a Bo Nix. JJ McCarthy is shooting up.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Penix, your guy.
Penix is there. So that the next tier of quarterbacks, according to you, would probably be the best quarterbacks next year.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the next tier. That the thing about Penix and Nix, they're older. They've been around for a little bit, so they're more established. So if you put them on a team, if like Nix or Penix went to a team like the Atlanta Falcons, I think that they could flourish because they already got pieces there.
Yeah, weapons, O-line, run game. Yep.
Okay, you're doing it. I was going to wait for this because you brought Bo Nix up. And I mean, if this happens.
Ask Kenny, I ruined these things.
If this happens, come on now. 20, the Steelers select Bo Nix.
You'd hate that pick?
He's old. We need to win now. We don't have people around him to win now.
David, that's why you would win now. It doesn't matter. Like, see, that's a Mike thing. I've never understood. He's too old. Is he helping me win? I don't care.
What talent do we have around him to win now?
Well, that's a you thing. That's a you problem.
You guys do need a quarterback, though, right?
But
yeah, but not Bo Nix.
You got a running game.
I'd rather get a veteran. Like Kirk Cousins.
No. You have a running game. Bo Nix is a veteran. He's been playing for 5-6 years.
Not in the NFL. I don't know if he can play in the NFL.
But David, not to do Steeler radio here, but I like George Pickens.
That's all we have.
Frommo's an underrated tight end, and you got Deontay Johnson. You're making faces at me.
Deontay Johnson is not going to be there next year.
Bo Nix is an upgrade over Pickett.
Okay, all right.
David,
all right.
You will be okay if you go get him.
Okay, let's go back. We'll go back.
Okay, I'm sorry. Who's the person out there?
We'll see.
You going to bring Michael Vick out of retirement?
I want JJ McChizzle. Say, no, I don't.
No.
Where's he going?
Who do you want?
I don't know who I want yet. We haven't even had the combine. I don't know who I want. I'm just being honest. I don't. It's very early.
So you're
it's
one
February.
of those fans. Give me somebody, but you're going to boo
I don't
whoever they
want
take.
him. I know that.
Answer the question. Where is JJ in this mock?
JJ is.
Let me guess.
Yeah, guess.
JJ, 12 to Denver.
You have a guess.
My guess is in that range because it's Minnesota, Denver, and the Raiders. I'll say Raiders at 13.
Man, Rico, you're so good. It is number 12 to the Denver Broncos, JJ McCarthy.
Now, Rico, be careful how you answer this because you're a Spartan hater.
Of course.
So what do you think if he goes 12th overall?
I think that this is one where Peyton is going to double down that I'm the smartest coach out there and I can turn this guy into something. This is one where he needs to be on a team where he could sit for a year. Because he didn't throw the ball enough that I think he has enough experience that, okay, he can handle this. There were games where he threw the ball, 8, 9, 10 times or less. I'm not a big fan of this, but you have Sean Payton who knows offense. And if Payton wants him, okay. But I think that Payton is trying to prove a point. I'm not for this because the body of work that he has playing in college is not good enough for me. This sounds like a draft and stash, and you know how I feel about that.
He's a guy who I'm not surprised he will go in the first round. It's a question of how high because people are going to flip on the tape and they're going to see the throws he makes that are NFL throws. And they're going to say, there's enough to work with there. And in a good offense with a good coach. Minnesota's got an offensive coach. They got a bunch of weapons. Minnesota would make a lot of sense for JJ McCarthy. That means he goes in the top, 11?
Yeah, and they pass on him here.
But the thing is, I've seen him in games where he was just handing the ball off.
Right.
That's not his fault.
No, but it's not. But when it was asked to make throws, he did make throws that NFL quarterbacks make.
He did, but I'm talking about just consistently.
Agreed.
Can you do that? Can you go out there and throw the ball 38 times?
Rico, and that's why he's not going to go 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
But I do think teams are going to look at it and go, first-round talent, we'll figure it out when we get him in our building.
I think he is the highest risk, highest reward quarterback because we really don't know. At least with Jaden, he played enough that you're like, okay, yes. JJ, I don't know.
Okay.
He could be great. He could not. There's a chance.
Let me get to Detroit's pick here because they are picking late in the first round, as everyone knows. Not a spot they're used to. Number 29, they take Darius Robinson, edge rusher from Missouri, at 8.5 sacks in 2023. Now, he is a local product. He went to Canton High School.
I think it would – yes, I've seen him play. It would be a nice pickup for Detroit. It would help with the defensive line. And, David, I putting my money down now, who's the best wide receiver available that they could take later on?
They're not doing a receiver in the first.
Yeah, there is a receiver left here in the first because they don't do a 2-round. So the final receiver taken is Kansas City takes Adonai Mitchell.
That's who the Lions will take.
At 32.
I like him. I don't think they're taking him.
Is Keon Coleman gone?
Keon Coleman is not gone.
Okay.
No, he's not.
One of those two, because the Lions will not address the defensive line. They're going to take a receiver. They're going to sit there at the podium and say, we took a football player, we took the best player, and everybody will give the golf clap. Good pick. Good pick. They'll do that whole high five around the room camera where, Sheila's like looking for somebody to high five with. Yeah, they'll take a receiver. It makes too much sense, David, is what I'm saying.
Those are both bigger receivers. I guess in theory they could use a bigger outside receiver. It is not one of the 3 or 4 most important positions to address. But we know Brad Holmes doesn't exactly think that way.
And that's why I said that.
But you would think it's interior O-line, it's D-line,
You would think.
It's a corner. Is Kool-Aid McKinstry there?
No, he is not. I don't see him here at all in the first round. Okay. So he's
available.
Chop Robinson, another name I know you like. Okay.
But they won't. It'll be offense.
Okay.
And that is your mock draft football today.